One thing that might be confusing when it comes to lighting are all the technical terms and different specific applications and whatnot. Well, one company strives to keep it simple and deliver on performance. And that is, of course, Lumens HPL, a Canadian-based lighting company led by Chris Chiang, who'll be joining us today. And he's going to give us all the details on what's going on with a brand new series called the Atom LED. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by Sirius XM, all about Lumens HPL. And it starts now. Hey guys, welcome to another CMA Connected brought to you by Sirius XM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and on the menu today is Lumens HPL, high-performance lighting courtesy of Chris Chiang out of the Ontario region. It's a Canadian-based company which has been delivering great solutions when it comes to light bulb replacements, even xenon. I remember back in the day, this is a big thing and continues to be so. They've introduced a couple new products, which we'll be covering today, but I'm going to let Chris tell us what we're going to be chatting about on today's show.
Hey Ben, it's Chris over here at Lumens HPL. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Ultra LEDs, Sportline LEDs, our mini bulbs, and of course our new Atom LEDs.
All right, Chris, happy to have you here and excited to get into it. But first, an opportunity for our partner Sirius XM to remind you dealers out there why you should love it. And when we come back, I got Chris Chiang from Lumens HPL, and we're talking lighting.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from Sirius XM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling Sirius XM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love Sirius XM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling Sirius XM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling Sirius XM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability.
People love it.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the show. So, like I said, we've got Chris Chiang, owner of Lumens HPL, joining us today. And Chris, I want to take this opportunity to start off the show. For those who are tuning in who may not know your brand, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of show people what makes Lumens just a little bit different from a lighting perspective. And a couple of things for me that I want you to touch on is the fact that you're so market aware. And really, the marketing side of things, not necessarily at the highest order when it comes to priorities. And I want you to tell them why.
Hey Ben. So a lot of people may not know this, but I come from an installation background, so it wasn't always about just selling products and so forth. And I totally understand from the installer's perspective. They want a product to put in their vehicle, or even from a consumer's perspective. I want to put an electronic product in my vehicle, I want it to work, and I don't want to take it out anytime soon. And when we built the Lumens line and when we continue to build Lumens products, we keep that in mind. I need something that will plug in, and if there's any additional parts that need to function, needed to make it function properly, especially around the new computer systems and so forth, the vehicles, we have to be able to provide it. And it can't be a situation where you take our product, you put it in, and you cannot make it work, and you give the guys at Lumens a call, and they're like, "Oh, no, just pull it out." We don't leave it like that. We always try to have some sort of proper solution or an alternative product that will work on those vehicles to ensure that the installation goes smoothly for these consumers to provide the extra light that they need.
I have to admit, Chris, this is what you just described there, something I do appreciate that, is very obvious. If anybody's ever had a chance to speak with you at a show, like CMA Expo, for example, or have seen any of your other recordings here in CMA Networks, that has been kind of the message from day one, and it comes through in your product. Now, viewers be warned, we don't have the time to go through the entire catalog that Lumens has to offer, but we will be zoning on a couple key ones, especially with the lighting season coming up, starting with a very exciting new launch. This was announced a couple weeks back on CMA Live, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper with Chris today. And this is a brand new series, if I got that right, Chris, and it's called Atom LED.
So Ben, the new Atom LEDs, they're 3 times as bright as a regular halogen bulb. What makes this a little different from our other LED bulbs is that the driver is actually built inside the bulb this time. So it's an all-in-one design. There's no external wires and drivers that you have to mount. Unlike our Sportline bulbs, it's fanless, so the cooling does not rely on the fan, which is great if you're going to install for fog lights or any off-road conditions or any situations where the vehicle is going to be seeing a lot of moisture, dirt, snow, salt. There's no moving components whatsoever, so you don't have to worry about anything clogging up and failing after time. Outside of that, we decided to make this bulb also projector headlight compatible. You'll notice that on some newer vehicles, you'll have projector lights for your fog lights even, not just your headlights. And it was important for us to make sure that this would work in those applications as well. You'll notice on most of the bulbs, the collar itself is clockable so that you can fine-tune the actual beam pattern, because not all vehicles are built the same, but you want to make sure that you're not blinding any oncoming traffic. At the same time, you don't want to create any new dark spots on the road where you don't actually get light and you used to. As with all of our other LED bulbs, these are DRL compatible in the sense that they will function properly and last just as long all the way down to 6 volts. This is really important for our vehicles here, as in Canada, all our vehicles have daytime running lights. Outside of that, being in the 12-volt market here, it's really important for dealers to know that all of our LED bulbs, including the Atoms, have EMC circuitry. What that means is our bulbs will not produce any extra radio noise. And why I say that's super important for the 12-volt industry is your customers are paying you premium for upgraded audio. The last thing you want is when they turn on their headlights or fog lights, that it wipes out everything they paid to get installed by you. One other cool feature of our bulbs is that they're all dual polarity. What that means is you don't have to fiddle around figuring out which wire is positive, which wire is negative. You can plug it in either way and our bulbs will come on.
All right, very exciting news, Chris. Brand new Atom series, guys. Make sure you check that out. Looks like it's got a lot of legs and a lot of applications that you guys could dig into. Now, we're going to segue into old, trusted, and true. We're talking about, of course, the Ultra series, which really, Chris, if you think about it, is what kind of made the Lumens name, because this product has been in the catalog for quite some time. It's reliable, it's go-to. It's been installed 100 different times, more than 100 different times in hundreds of different vehicles, and it continues to be a proven solution for upgrading LED. So let's take a minute and talk about the great features and benefits from the Ultra line.
Hey, Ben. As you mentioned, the Ultra LEDs kind of set the standard for us, I would say, when it came to LED bulbs. These guys here, we've had for over 7 years. Anyone that's used it knows the true reliability of these bulbs. They're still, they were way ahead of its time at the time, and they're still more than compatible, competitive, I should say, with the other LED bulbs on the market when it comes to brightness. But more importantly, when it comes to brightness versus reliability, which in turn translates to longevity, it's tuned well that you get lots of light, yet they will last that 4 to 5 years that we aim for. The main takeaway from this bulb, I would say, is the external driver provides consistent light output over however long these bulbs are on. Easy to mount, they're very tiny. They have these aluminum fins used to help with heat dissipation. And the reason why we use the fins rather than a solid heat sink is to minimize the actual area behind the bulb. And that will actually open up a lot of vehicles when it comes to installations so that there aren't any fitment issues. And again, coming from an installation background, that's really important to me, because the last thing I want to do is rip apart a vehicle, install this LED bulb only to find out, oh, it doesn't fit. So what do? I guess we pull it out and look for something else, or maybe we just have to turn around and tell the customer, sorry, we can't do your vehicle at this point. So for us, fitment was key when it came to designing this product line. Outside of that, we do still use the Lumens LEDs. They're proven reliability, like I said, with over 7 years. Most people have probably changed their bulbs by now, but I still know some people that are still running the exact same bulbs from 7, 8 years ago, and they're more than happy with it.
You know, Chris, I still remember the first time I got my hands on a set of those Ultras and was wondering what these aluminum fins were. But you're absolutely right. Because they are so pliable, they get into the smallest nook and crannies, which actually is a huge advantage for the installer to be confident that these will go simply everywhere. Now, moving on to another series which has gained in popularity, especially when it comes to projector housings, the SPORTLINE series was literally invented and designed for that purpose. So, Chris, talk to us about the SPORTLINE series.
Well, Ben, the SPORTLINE LEDs were designed specifically to overcome some issues for projector lights in which the Ultra LEDs didn't work well in. And with that being said, when it comes to projectors, most of them are within dust caps. So we used a fan cooling system to reduce the cost of, instead of having all those aluminum fins. And you'll notice that the fan here also is quite small. We call it a mini fan. Again, when it comes to fitment issues, we want to minimize it as much as possible. Now, there's a misconception that this bulb only works in projectors. That's not true. They thrive in projectors, but they'll work just as well in a reflector scenario. We only ask that dealers and consumers use these when there's an actual dust cover. And the reason for that is, as long as they're protected by a dust cover, we don't have to worry about water, dirt, salt, and all that kind of stuff getting into the fans and clogging it up. And with the dust cap, having the extra air movement inside the actual headlight unit is always kind of nice. And in those instances, we lean towards the SPORTLINE instead of the Ultra LEDs. One of the great features of the SPORTLINE LEDs versus our competitors, and anyone that deals with a lot of GM vehicles will know this, this is probably one of the very, if not the only bulb that will work well and provide that proper beam pattern in a GM projector. And it's only because the way that they make their projector headlights is quite different than any other brand of vehicle on the market. So with the SPORTLINE bulbs, like most of our other bulbs, they'll operate down to 6 volts, no problem, steady. They have that special design to work extremely well with the projector headlights. Again, it will 100% work with a reflector headlight. Same thing, it'll have dual polarity, so installers don't have to fiddle around with which side is positive, which side is negative. It has the fan for cooling, which is good in a sealed scenario to provide a little bit of air movement. It's got a mini fan to reduce any type of fitment issues and whatnot while you're installing into a vehicle. If there are any installation issues, we do offer additional rubber dust caps to be added on. And most importantly, this bulb also has been around for about 6 years or so. Most people, again, are, I would say half of the market has replaced their bulb once since then, but the rest of them are probably running the same bulb still. So again, it's proven reliability and the light output is just phenomenal.
All right, our final category for today's conversation is something that dealers that I've spoken to are somewhat hesitant or not so confident about, but I think Lumens has done it the right way to be able to provide dealers with that confidence and with the tools, more importantly, to complete the sale. What do I mean by this? Well, the lighting sale doesn't have to stop at the headlight. Yes, we've got the headlights covered, we've got the fog lights covered, but mini bulbs can come into play to give older vehicles that fresh new LED look. Chris, what is the mini bulb offering from Lumens, and how do dealers learn about what fits where?
Hey, Ben. So as you see over here, we have a lot of different mini bulbs in various colors. The most popular ones are obviously white, red, and amber. And they come in packages looking like so. The importance, like you said, is after a lot of consumers, dealers, install the LED headlight bulbs, it doesn't have to stop there, and most people don't want to stop there. Now they're trying to freshen up the look of the vehicle, or some people actually might need brighter lighting inside their vehicle because they work inside and whatnot, or they want a brighter reverse light because they can't see out their tinted back windows, or maybe they just want to be noticed more while they're on their motorcycle and they want something to really be in people's faces to say, hey, I'm here, don't hit me. Well, this is where our LED bulbs come into play. And what makes us a little different than most people is, A, we do have a lookup tool on our website, in which you can look up which bulbs fit into which vehicles. Secondly, what most people don't realize is not all of these mini bulbs are built the same, even though they may look the same. Again, we go back to reliability at Lumens. We put whatever we can into these bulbs to make it a little more reliable. And one of the, I wouldn't call it a secret, but a cost to actually making these bulbs is to provide a constant current type circuitry, which means we take that dirty power coming from your vehicle, we clean it up as best as we can before we feed it towards the LED chips. A lot of consumers tell us, I'm consistently burning these bulbs out. And we say, well, it could be the vehicle, but before you just start jumping at too many things, why not try a Lumens bulb and see if that makes a difference? And they found that compared to their Amazon bulb or another bulb, wherever they bought it, our bulbs actually lasted. And that's probably because there's something else going on with their vehicles that's providing that dirtier power than normal. And our circuitry is able to get around it for a lot of these instances. Outside of that, all of these bulbs are generally the same size as the original bulb, or we keep it as close to as possible, again, for fitment issues. We don't want a reverse light bulb, on this side, and it's too big to fit into the housing, and we can't get it all the way in, and we got to take it back out and find another product. We want to make sure whatever you take out, we can get back in and it'll fit, right? Outside of that, we want to make sure it can work. And when it works, we want to make sure it works for quite a while. And one pro tip that I can give to most people purchasing these bulbs, if these bulbs are behind a colored lens, ensure that you match it up with the proper colored LED bulbs. That's why we have the amber and red bulbs. So for instance, brake light is behind a red lens on this vehicle, you want to use a red bulb. Common sense tells you white bulb, more light, best light output would be with the white bulb, but that's 100% not true. You want to go with the red bulb, and that will give you a sharper look, a cleaner look, and actually a brighter light.
So that was President of Lumens HPL, CHRIS CHIANG, giving us all the details on the latest, including the brand new series in Atom LED. Very exciting stuff. Now, if any of the products covered on this show may be of interest to you, head over to the website found at lumenshpl.com. And if you happen to be a dealer in Canada tuning in, then you need to know that their official distribution partner is in fact Importel. On that note, it's time to call on the 12-volt Viking, Mr. Jaron Gelmalon. Jaron, this is an awesome product with a longevity of partnership with Importel. And what's more is since the expansion, this only means better and more efficient things for dealers, doesn't it?
Certainly, the expansion of Importel over to the West Warehouse not only gave them the 12-volt Viking, as you see, it also gave them the ability to ship essentially next day in Canada, anywhere you are. So what that means for a dealer is if I need this certain headlight application tomorrow for an install, can I go on the website at importel.com, add it to my cart, and have it there the next day? Certainly you can.
That's fantastic news for dealers, next day shipping anywhere in Canada. And let's talk about the business of lighting for a second here, Jaron. The lighting season is upon us. This is not a category that is, shrinking by any means. In fact, I feel today the products that are available are better than ever before with applications that fit just about anything. What I mean by this is an incredible opportunity for dealers to capitalize, especially when it comes to a brand like Lumens. I'd like to hear your input or what suggestions you may have for dealers out there looking to, grow their lighting business.
Yeah, certainly there's the go-to with headlight replacements. That's what everyone thinks of when you talk of LEDs, is direct headlight replacements. But as Chris touched on earlier, and something that's kind of dear to my heart that I do in all my vehicles, is all the interior lighting and even the exterior lighting. I find it it's still very common for the vehicle manufacturers to use the incandescent type bulbs that are that yellowish color. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a huge fan of that bright white color. And when you replace all the bulbs in your interior with that, when you unlock your doors on some of these new vehicles and it just lights up inside the vehicle, or you have the approach lights that lights up in the vehicle, I think it's a huge plus for a consumer to have that nice big white light. And it's not a hard install for the dealers to replace all those lights and all the mini bulbs. And then you can also get into signal light bulbs, reverse, brake lights, and have that kind of take a vehicle that's, let's say, 10 years old and still using a lot of that incandescent bulb technology and upgrade it and look new and higher end and more like a new vehicle that's using all these LED upgrades in the vehicles that a lot of manufacturers are using. So I think that's a good opportunity for dealers to maybe look into. So when you have a customer that comes in for maybe a headlight replacement, offer it to them. Hey, we can also do your signal lights or your reverse lights or your brake lights as well to give you more lighting around your vehicle, or the inside to give you more lighting inside the vehicle when you turn on those interior lights.
I want to take this opportunity and thank both my guests and CHRIS CHIANG as well as Jaron Gelmalan for joining us on today's episode. And in my closing statement, Lumens has been a very strong contender in the lighting category for many years. It prides itself almost in not being about the marketing, but more about the technology and the reliability. As you can see from Chris's presentation, he is very serious about the technical aspects of what works and what doesn't. And I believe that transcends right into their products. They don't have the widest range. They're not the thickest catalog in the industry. But I will tell you this, they are reliable. And speaking with dealers, these are a no-mess product that you can be confident when putting into your customer's car. And to Jaron's point, think about it deeper. Look beyond just the light bulb replacement and look into their mini bulbs or maybe some of the off-road options that Lumens also offers. But all in all, a fantastic company with some reliable product and very exciting new series to get into with the Atom. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.